All right. Okay, so many of you probably heard this phrase before. We got to list the last. Listings are the name of the game. Listings are leverage. And I believe in those things 100%. If we want to increase our market share, the fastest, best way to do that is to get listings. One of the coolest things about listings and how it's leveraged, as far as time goes, is you put something on the MLS on the market when you put your sign up, your lockbox on, and all of a sudden you've got X hundred, X thousand of agents that are available to see that on the MLS, schedule showings on it. You don't have to get up and do anything. You've already set up the system, right? And then you can go from there. So from a time standpoint, if we're maxed out on time and we need more business, we'd like more business, get some listings. Right now, there's just a huge opportunity too with rates being as high as they've been. And when I say been as high as they've been, they haven't been as high as historically ever, right? 6%, 7%, guys, it's still great rates. But with that being said, though, because we were so used to lower rates, 3, 4, 5%, there's been some pent up demand. There's so many people that own homes that would love to sell, but they just don't know if it's the right time. And that's where we come into place. That's where we're here to inform them, educate them that, at the end of the day, Mr. and Mrs. Seller or Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, it's about your personal economy more so than the national or even local economy. Because there's always going to be a reason why someone should or need to sell. Maybe they're selling because they're getting a job relocation. Maybe they're selling because they want to be closer to family. Maybe they're selling because their family continues to grow. Maybe they're selling because they want to get into a different school district or a different area with different amenities. Maybe they're selling because, babies are coming or unfortunately splits are happening. So don't limit your mindset to what's going on in the market and say, oh, no one's selling their homes. Inventory's super low. Flip it in the fact that, A, listings are everything, but then B, they're all in the same contact list that we were just talking about, that real estate SOI, that real estate family members that I was saying. So how many people are excited about listings and would say they're more of a listing agent than a buyer's agent? So almost 2/3 of the room, almost the whole room, right? So this is all about how do we add more listings. So again, this is going to be more of a personal business check, but how many of your website have the information that sellers are wanting and needing to know before they call you and ask you if you're, willing or able to sell their home? So some of those questions are, you live all the way on the west side. Can you even do any business on the east side of town? Are you willing to drive 15, 20, 25 minutes? What's that answer, guys? Absolutely. I'll drive an hour plus for the right listing. So we got to make sure that our website has the who are we willing to work with, the what we're able to sell, the where we want to sell and can sell. Because unless we have our licenses in other states, which some of our friends in Florida and Illinois online do, we have to just kind of geographically tell them, where our license is and what MLSs we're members of. Okay. So it's number one thing I'd love for you all to do is make sure that you have relevant information about being an awesome rock star listing agent, not just on your website, but then also your business social pages. Okay. And then from there, we've got to promote and market ourselves as being able to sell and what we have, sold and closed, because those actions, those activities, guys, those results will breed more actions and opportunities and results. I see you guys taking so many notes, so I'm going to kind of slow down just a little bit, if that's okay. Make sure everyone's got a good point of stopping with notes before I go on to the next thing. So some ideas on what and how to post. So back to the items of value, home maintenance tips, inventory information, days on market, interest rates, anything relevant to educate them on, what's going on in the housing industry. But then secondly, though, it's not a matter of if, for many of our past clients, for many of our individuals in our databases, it's not really a matter of if they can sell something, because most often everything sells at the right price, right? And it's not more so can they afford something, because if they're in their current home and they've been paying their mortgage, they've got the credit, they've got the income. So the third thing to really post is something compelling that makes them desire to want to move. That's the number one thing that I do with my home building company is, I put pictures of things that I know are trending that people are really wanting in their next home. Maybe that's a bigger island. Maybe that's a warmer looking fireplace. Remember, maybe it's a bigger yard. Maybe it's more garage. Maybe it's that man cave or that she shed. So think about that, because, financially, like I said, A plus B equals C. But emotionally, you just don't know what their hot buttons are. And I know for a lot of my friends in this room and online, we live in areas that are more metro, suburban than rural. And I also know that a lot of the individuals moving to these metro, urban, suburban areas came from rural farm town Iowa, right? And they come here and they came here because of a job or wanting to be closer to friends and family members. And they grew up in the country on 1, 2, 3, 10, 100,000 acres, right? And all of a sudden they move here for 4,000 square foot lots, 10,000 square foot lots. You can hand a cup of sugar this way or get something that way to your neighbor, or there's no privacy in their backyard. And so what do those people want? They want the pole barns and the outbuildings and be able to ride their ATVs. And so think about how you can, just strategically compel people to want to move, that desire to move. Because NAR does tell us that the average homeowner stays in their house 5 to 7 years. So back to that SOI, once we got it super organized, we'll talk more about this. We go through there and say, oh, when did they last buy their house, or how long have they lived there? Okay. And we talked about this earlier. What are some ways to get more referrals for listings? And that is asking for them, asking for the video, the reviews, them on video, with some nice words of affirmation about how you service them as an agent, what you did, and how you marketed their home to the next level, and you negotiated like nobody's business on making sure that they sold their house for highest and best price. And anytime you can story sell an idea like that, it's even better, because I'll tell you, a year or 2 years ago, I'm losing track of time now, I was in the process of listing a home, and I always would encourage our agents to do an open house the first Sunday of the listing. But unfortunately, that first Sunday was Easter. So what I told my sellers, like, hey guys, I got this idea. Let's call it a open house / a pre-moving go away party for your house. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to post all the open house information on all the syndicated sites. I'm going to put up a bunch of directional signs on social media. We're going to post this in all the buy, sell, trade sites, right? And then you guys just text and invite, email all your friends, and I'll buy the drinks and the treats. And we're just going to have this big old party for an open house. And sure enough, that's exactly what we did. We had a lot of traffic. The street was lined, up and down. And that night we got an offer before the party started, because we love showings. We listed it that day, right? And we have to be mindful, guys, of MLS rules, right? Clear cooperation. But we got an offer before the party started, and about 30 minutes after the party was supposed to end, we got a knock on the door. And the knock on the door was someone that saw my directional signs. They saw it on Zillow because they had been looking, and they wanted to look at the house. And are we going to say no to someone wanting to look at a house even though the party ended 30 minutes ago? Heck no. And so 15 minutes later, I got a call from one of my agent friends with an offer. And so what's who do? I go highest and best. And I also had other showings and this and that. So I'm staying at their house, and the seller, who's now a great friend of mine, she takes a picture of me, and maybe some of you guys saw this and comment on how hard we were working to sell her house, and that she had two offers and above ask, and we sold it, right? And so it's those types of things that you just got to think outside the box and come up with some ideas to really generate kind of that positive, momentum and vibe for your business.
Ooh, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Did you have the sellers at the pre-moving party?
Yes. It was their friends. Yeah.
And their friends and their family and whatever, but yet lookers could still come through with them there.
Yeah, we had agents bring their clients to the party, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And guess what? I've met a lot of my clients' friends, right? And they're in that perfect demographic of some of them were still first-time home buyers, and some of them had been in their house for a few years. And so, yeah. Okay. And we talked about, offering appreciation and gifts when you receive the referrals, not 10 cents for the referrals, but just to show some sort of sign of gratitude. And even if it's a $5 Starbucks card or a gas card or whatever, it's a thought that counts. Okay. So another idea I have, which is number 3, actually it should be number 4 on the handout, is called the client compound strategy. And I've been coaching about this for probably at least over 10 years. The 8th wonder of the world is compounding, right? And one thing that we are all guilty of is when we have a ready, willing, and able buyer, we take them to the MLS. We might have them in the office looking at the MLS, and we show them all the other listings, everyone's listings that fit their criteria based on size, price, area, whatnot, right? And then our goal is to schedule showings, and our goal is to write an offer, and our goal is to get one ready, willing, and able buyer to be matched with one listing that's on the MLS, right? And 99% of the time that works like a charm. But adding some additional steps, in which I'm calling the client compound strategy, is not only do we do that, because that's real estate agent basic 101, right? But also taking them to your organized database and sending out their needs, their wants, even a cute picture of them, or just, kind of a story of who they are and what they're looking for. And we call that bird dog. So then we're asking, hey, who might have that house, or who knows somebody that might have that house? And the probability may not be super high, but at the end of the day, like I've said a million times, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Another idea is you go to for sale by owners, expired, withdrawn listings. You go to a farming area that is in the school district or part of town or the price point that they're looking for. You knock on some doors. Be careful with safety, of course. You spend a little bit of money on a mailing. Okay, so that client compound strategy, guys, is a really great idea, I feel, for your buyers. But then also back to clear cooperation is also a great idea for your upcoming listings. Because in Des Moines, and I know with my friends, we were talking about this when I was just in the Quad Cities area, we have 24 hours to kind of pre-market before it has to be. And I don't want any of us to break any rules. I don't want any of us to do anything slimy, but I do want to make sure that we're taking full advantage of the opportunity that we have. And I would say this all day long is, hey, hey everybody, I just want to let you guys know I've got a 4-bedroom, split level, 2-car attached home coming up in Urbandale or in Bettendorf, and I'm signing the paperwork tonight with the clients. I'm putting a sign and a lockbox on, but I just want to give all my friends, my family members, my agent friends a heads up that this is hitting the market. Because not only are we trying to do that to increase our business, but don't you guys feel that's an awesome service providing to the sellers? And you put that into your listing presentation as one of the marketing things that you're going to do, because what's that do? That creates hype, that creates frenzy, right, for your seller. And also what's that do ultimately? That gets an offer, that gets the closing, that gets a review. Okay.
Myrna has a question online. Myrna?
That compound strategy, I guess I'm a little confused. You're saying, so more or less build something that gives a description of the client so that way it's posted out to other agents? Is that how I'm understanding it?
Yes, to other agents, because one of the benefits in a low inventory market is the house may not be on the MLS yet. So you're essentially also showing that as a buyer service that you provide. Is I'm not going just to only show you what's on the MLS. I'm going to ask and help you get other opportunities. But then also, though, I guess the real client compound strategy of it, Myrna, is you're sending that out onto your social media pages. You're emailing that out to your SOI. You're sending that out to for sale by owners, expired, withdrawn, cancels. Does that make sense?
I think so. Could we do that like on our Facebook group within our I guess our area here, like the concepts one?
Yeah. Oh, totally. On First to Know, you can definitely do that on First to Know. We do buyer needs quite a bit, right, guys? The ones that have been on our First to Know pages for a while. So you can totally do it on First to Know. You can totally do it on your personal page, and you can totally do it on your business page. Now, wording wise, if you ever have any questions on wording, kind of refer back to what you kind of remember getting your license. But if you ever have any questions like that, shoot that to me or Lance or one of the other brokers.
All right, thank you.
Saying that, okay, everybody, does that make sense? Fair enough, right? Okay, should we keep going? So that's all about the I should say all about, but just a kind of a overview of the client's compound strategy. Another way to get listings is industry networking. And I will tell you, how many of you guys feel like you're in an equal partnership with a lender, an insurance agent, or a handyman, where you send them referrals all the time and they in turn are your person, you know, like they're sending back. Because unfortunately, I see very often that it's not a super one-for-one equal reciprocal relationship. And so sometimes you got to have a heart-to-heart with your go-to lender, inspector, insurance person and say, hey, you know, I sent you a lot of business. I just was curious. Do you, you know, get a lot of, you know, leads that come in, you know, walking the door or email past clients? Because if so, I'd love to, you know, work more with you, just because, you know, part of my business this year, one of my goals is I'd like to grow my business more. And I'm looking up and down at all my past clients, all my past business. And, you know, I've given you 12 leads, Susie, Bobby, Billy, and I didn't get anything from you. Is that a fair question to say? Right? We live in that type of industry, or we work in that type of industry, that we should totally, you know, ask for business from our industry friends. Okay. So that's also inspectors, contractors, and then I'll talk more a little bit later on who we can add. So I talked about my idea on open houses, doing a twilight Friday night thing, but I'll tell you guys, you know, that first Sunday open house done well, done right, can totally be an awesome way to get the listings in the surrounding areas. I call it a mega open house strategy. And what it is just making sure, you know, we're not last minuting, telling our ACR to put the open house online on Friday. We're telling them at least that Monday before, right? And then in turn, like I said, we promote it on all the social pages. We boost it on Google. We boost it on Facebook, and we put it on all the buy, sell, trade things, right? Because then all of a sudden, what's that value to that seller? Like, holy cow, Brittany's hustling for me. She's putting my house everywhere. My house is a celebrity. Hopefully it's a celebrity for all the right reasons and not the wrong reasons, right? So that is exposure to say, you know, if they don't have an agent, that future seller, like, look at all this work that this agent does for their seller. And then from there, once they come to that open house, you know, then it's more time to show them, how do we set the stage? Do we bake some cookies? Do we have, you know, drinks, and we have light music playing? Do we have some beautiful marketing flyer materials? Are we very welcoming? What type of eye contact, personality, tone of voice, interaction are we giving them? And we're not there to sell them on the house. We're not there to sell them on a listing. We're there just to be people, you know, hosting an open house and making new friends, right? So an open house is a great way to get more listings. I talked about Google AdWords. I talked about pay-per-click sites, and those are kind of like next level things that will cost some money. But those are systems that I would definitely love you guys to add after we figure out, or after we've created some awesome fundamental systems on the things that I just mentioned prior to. Okay. Talked about the referral program with that Google Forms and the SOI. So just sending that Google form that I'll share with you guys out to people. Say, hey, I'm adding, you know, adding kind of a pipeline of potential listings coming up. If you or anyone you know is thinking about selling this year or next, would you mind filling out this information? And that's where they can put all that information, and that's where you can in turn put it into your lead pipeline. Okay. And then what else, guys? Free resources, offering those, you know, equity reports, you know, what a home is worth, right? How many people in your SOI, like I said, we're data mining them. They've been in there for at least 5, 6, 7 years, and they don't know that their equity has jumped up 100K or 200K, right? Think of all the people, like my mom and dad bought their house in 1984 for $37,000 on the east side. They still own it. My mom still owns it. It's worth a lot of money, right? And there's a lot of equity there. And so telling them what their home is worth, because they'll be shocked. Because, you know, even those that bought their houses 5, 6, 7 years ago, isn't it pretty good? I mean, that was not the case when I first started real estate back in 2006, 7, 8, 9. That was called the Great Recession, and people were opposite. They're upside down. So the equity report, so that's the difference. So, you know, a lot of agents outside of this company even offer home value reports, but the equity report says, okay, you know, friend, buyers, sellers, your house is worth this, and after all the different things, paying off, your mortgage, this and that. This is what this is now, and you can actually, grab, definitely the easiest way is to grab their loan information from them, but when they bought it, it's recorded that, what the mortgage was when they purchased the home, and then you're automatically giving them, hey, if you were to sell your house for roughly what I think is worth, this is, the money that you'd have in your pocket. And I'm not an accountant, but up to $250,000 could be of capital gains of a gain is not considered taxable income. And so what would you do with that 250,000? Would you pay for a wedding? Would you pay for some college education? Would you pay for, a world trip? Would you invest it here, buy some Bitcoin, some crypto? Hopefully not. Buy more real estate? What would you do with that equity? And if anything, maybe they say, you know what, Sonny, Lindsay, we love our house. We don't want to move, but since we have so much equity in our home, we'd like to do something with it. And we'd like to create some sort of, residual passive income. So what can you do to help me there? Right? All make sense? Any ideas, any suggestions off of what we just talked about? Good ideas? Thumbs ups? Okay. Oh, renovation guide. This is something, guys, that I am really, really, really excited about. And I need to work on a training that I've been having on my to-do list for the last year and a half. But back to my mom and dad's house, or back to a lot of houses that were built 10 plus years ago, or even older. Some of them just don't know what they should do and what it should cost to make the house sellable, right? Should I update the kitchen? Probably. Should I update the bathroom? Probably. Should I change all the switches? Well, maybe not, And so giving them an idea of what they should do and what those costs are nationally, locally, or especially with your contractor, handy person friends. And all of a sudden you're having these conversations with them as a local market expert on what they should do to get their highest value. Back to that listing I was talking to you about, that listing was in Country Club in Clive. And I know my friends and across the state of Iowa, you guys have those type of neighborhoods where homes may have been built in the 80s, 90s, whatever, and they're huge, but they're dated. But those are the areas that people want to buy because they're got the great location, they've got the great amenities nearby, they've got the space. And that's exactly what my sellers did. They bought the house during COVID, put in like 75 grand, made like 300 grand on this house, not intentionally trying to flip it. And so being a renovation expert and just having those, I'm not saying you guys need to have tool belts and tools. I'm just saying you guys, know people to help them get this done. And if you don't know anyone, this guy can help. Make sense? Okay, so some of the tools that we need, guys, to really get more listings is an organized CRM. So back to the SOI, organizing all your contacts, adding new contacts, finding people to add, and then organizing them at a bare minimum, guys, in a spreadsheet, like a Google sheet or Excel. But the best thing that I feel that Remax has done is they brought KV Core to us as agents, as a company, and KV Core will totally do all the things that you need to be able to, market to your potential sellers. Okay. And then also, of course, our MLSs, our matrix. I mean, there's so much value in that, in those systems, guys, especially when it comes to withdrawn, canceled, expired listings, closed homes. I mean, go just farm an area based on the sales that happened 5, 6, 7 years ago. It's all there, guys. We are on top of so much information. We just got to remember that it's theirs for us to work. Also, so for sale by owner sites. Zillow is a great site that, sellers can put their homes up for sale on. And, they even have a little opportunity there that I'll talk more about here in a bit on how we reach out to them and try to ask them if they're willing to work with an agent or thinking about ever listing their house. Okay. And then also, number 4 is RedX. That's a tool that you guys would pay for. So the other tools are already included in everything that you guys are already doing. But RedX, and there's another program called Vulcan that you can subscribe to, that they actually scrub the data for you. So you can give it a geographic area and tell me who has been in their house for 5 years. And it even can give you like their phone numbers and emails and things like that. So it's a lot of information that you can just kind of gather and use. Okay, so again, number 1, I'm at the bottom of the page now, guys, is data mining. We talked a lot about that. And then how you offer those things, though, is you can email them, you can phone call, give them phone calls, or you can text them. But let's say you mail and or text an offer for what your house is worth, how much you can walk away with the equity. But guys, you always have to do a follow-up, right? So maybe you mail something and then you text the follow-up. Hey, I just want to make sure that you receive my information, Michelle. Then from there, you do a phone call, right? You're driving from point A to point B and you've got your list of everyone that you've offered that stuff to. You say, hey, I just want to make sure you got that. I'm not trying to, bug you too much, but just a really great time right now in the market to sell, and houses are going fast. And it's actually a great time to sell because homes are at the highest value. But in this certain move-up market, it's an awesome time to buy too, just because there's not a lot of demand for this type of home in this area. And I know based on some of the things that we've talked about in the past, that might be something that you should consider. Okay. Let's flip the page. Other things we can ask them: are you planning to sell your home this year or next? This might be the best time to sell, move up. We talked about that. Continuing with items of value about home maintenance, home repair, just kind of forecasting. Maybe if you are thinking about selling your home or you are thinking about renovating your home, these are some tips and tricks and hacks that I have and would love to share with you. Providing some marketing stats. What is going on in the market right now? We're at historic low for inventory. Homes are selling above list price. Right now, Mr. and Mrs. Sellers, it's a seller's market. And we know that because of the months of inventory and how much demand is coming in, educating them on that demand. Okay, this demand is coming from Generation X, Generation Y, out of state relocators, downsizers, things like that. Okay. And then, like I said, leveraging your buyers with hand addressed notes, with little door knocker things, stickers. And this works. This is something that you can have a pile of these in your car. And then we never want to lie, right? But we definitely want to leverage our buyers and then each other's buyers. And let's say you're just driving up and down a street looking for, homes with a client, and all of a sudden you're like, holy cow, we should see if that house would be willing to sell. You just take that sticky note, you take that door hanger, you take that little envelope that you already have pre-written letter printed off in, and you just stick it in the mailbox, hang it on the door, stick it on the storm door, and we'll see what happens. And I will tell you guys, I have heard success stories from that. Okay.
You can't do the mailbox.
Can't do the mailbox. Okay, don't do the mailbox. That's a federal
Property.
property. But what you could do is say, wow, this house is awesome. I have it pre-printed, folded with a stamp. And what's that address, by the way? I can't read it. My glasses are helping me with the address. Oh, it's 123 Main Street. Okay, drop it off in a post office. That you can do that, right? So
As long as you pay the 50-some cents.
yes. Okay, and leverage your buyers with hand addressed letters to potential sellers. So back to what I was saying earlier is you have these bird dogs. The buyers are using them as a bird dog, and the tool that you're using is a letter. You say, I have a ready, willing, and able buyer. They're pre-approved, and we've been looking at everything that's on the MLS, and we were driving by and thought your house could be something that they would totally be interested in. If you would consider selling it, here's my information. Okay. Phone calls and voicemails. One of the things, and let's delete this part of the recording because I'm not sure if it's something we should be doing with Forewarn, but Forewarn, the app we have that's supposed to be a security app, it will totally give you a phone number and a name based on an address, right? And but again, we want to be ethical and honest.
I don't think you can search by address. Is that what you mean?
No, I think it's
by name.
by name.
By name. I'm sorry.
By name.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. You search by address on the assessors, you get the name on the assessor page.
It's a
Search
two-step
by
process.
name or by phone number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But once you get in there, then it'll give you everything.
Oh,
else,
yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
Except for your address.
And guys, I know not everyone loves cold calling, but at the end of the day, we are here to just be matchmakers. And if anything, we're here to help and think about all this help that you're providing the buyers. And then maybe you're actually, divinely kind of interjected in this potential seller's life, and you can say, hi, I'm Meksay with a phone call. I'm an agent broker with Remax Concepts, and I hope I caught you at a good time, but I just wanted to see if you would ever be interested in showing your home to some potential clients of mine. We drove by it and noticed it was a very beautiful house. It looked like you've maintained it very well, and if you'd be interested in doing that, just let me know. And actually, there's a program out there called Slide Broadcast that you can actually pre-record that, and it shoots it out to however many phone numbers you have in the system. Now that is a cost, of course, but it's kind of a great use of time, isn't it? And you can do that with video too, but just to each their own, and always be safe, be careful, be mindful of the do not calls, all that stuff, right? And that's a totally another class. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of what you can do, and then we can totally drill into the actual step-by-step tactics, okay? Digital door knocking, especially with social media these days. I don't know if you guys have posted listings or boosted your listings on your business pages, but you can actually pick by geographic areas what you guys are targeting. And so if you are trying to get sellers with some awesome seller information, you can specifically pick the area that your buyers or the area that you're wanting to get more market share in. And you can dial it all the way down to like 15-mile radius from West Des Moines, 1 mile radius from this address, this zip code. Okay. So that's kind of like the new they did door knocking is just taking it digital. Okay. I talked about the sticky note. I talked about the drive-by thing. Agent to agent referrals. Guys, we have all these beautiful faces online. Some are local, but some are Cedar Rapids, Quad Cities. And so building a relationship with our concepts agents far and wide, introducing yourself, sending them business, in turn they'll send you business. Going to IAR events. That's actually how I met Wendy and Ashton, and meeting agents from Dubuque, Okoboji, Sioux City, where we don't have concepts office, and just making friends and exchanging cards. Going to R4, if anyone's going to R4 in Vegas, I mean, that's a huge event with RE/MAX agents worldwide. And, you know, it's just an act of giving away a business card and getting their card and put them into your database and building up a referral. And whether it's a year from now or 20 years from now, you just never know where that referral is going to come because they, you know, have your card. Social media polls on Facebook and Instagram. Are you living in your dream home? Yes or no? If you could sell your home, what would your new home look like? Yes or no? What price point would someone have with that someone could offer you, and you wouldn't even hesitate to sell your house? And just, you know, you're just trying to again get into their mind space and then asking them an opinionated question, and whether they interact or not. There's so many people that don't do anything to the poll or any comments, but guess what? They saw you put it out there. They saw you working hard and trying to hustle for business. And then send in direct messages to those that are interested. Focus on seniors, guys. A lot of times they hadn't sold their houses yet. They have never sold their house. They bought their house, like I said, you know, back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and they're first-time sellers. And even though they've had friends or family members that have sold houses, they still don't know every single step. And you can be that person that educates them on that step, showing them everything that they need to do. And in turn, when you're doing that, you're showing them this person has a high moral character. This person has so much integrity. This person is so trustworthy. I really think this person is awesome. They work for the best brokerage in America. They have a lot of business in our neighborhood, and they showed us how we could update our home with the right amount of investments to get the highest and best value. So I definitely feel that that's another huge opportunity because, you know, baby boomers, I love them all. There are some in this room and online. They don't want to sell their houses yet, right? And that's okay, because where are they going to go? But one day they might sell their house, or they will need to sell their house, and that's when they'll come to you guys. Okay, so just giving them that value, and if anything, their friends next door that have awful. So my mom lives next door to this gal named Twyla, and it's actually her daughter and myself are the same exact age. They have lived in that next to each other for almost 40 years now. You know, and they talk still. And my mom has like 4 or 5 other friends in the neighborhood within a 5-mile or 5-house radius. And so just focusing on those people, because you just don't know when they're going to be raking the lawns and going to the mailbox and chatting about, oh, yeah, for sale by owner sign. You should call Monica or Mike or Michelle. Okay, unoccupied and investors. You know, this is where you kind of are doing some due diligence on the assessor side. You're like, who is this? 123 LLC, and then on the Polk County assessors, and I don't know if all the assessors pages, you can actually type in the name of the owner and see what else they own, right? Because a lot of times, you know, investors will have like for me, it's Meksay Corp, and you type in their name, all of a sudden, or Dreamscape Home Builders, all of a sudden, all the properties that they own come up, and you're like, oh, looks like you own a lot of property. I'd like to get to know you better. And I have an investor client that's looking to buy, you know, some rehab opportunities, some rental opportunities, some land opportunities, this and that. So it's all about just, you know, trying to figure out who's out there. Okay. Influencer or celebrity review. Myself personally, guys, I've worked with Tinka Slater, Brooke Bauma. Those are local news, I guess, celebrities, personalities. And if I was a better agent, I would have totally done a selfie with them or got some sort of review from them and tag or even tag them on their pages. Because I don't know if you've ever seen Brooke Bauma's or Tinka Slater's Facebook pages, but dang, they got a lot of friends and followers. And I'm their agent, and I haven't put myself out there. And that's not just like TV personalities, right? Think about the chief of police, the chief of the fire department, the principal, the PTA, the pastors, the business owners. Anytime you can just get a review, an endorsement, a connection, you're like, oh, that's their agent. And those are great people, successful people. And they picked, Brittany or Marva. I should probably pick them too. Okay. Sign up for seller attractions. Let's say you do all those other things, guys, and you still need more business. Look up Homelight and Upnest. Those are two sites that you can get some solid leads from. Oh, and number 12 is office company fellow realtor buyers compound strategy. So okay, so I'm hoping we all have some buyers actively that we're working for, right? But let's say Sunny puts on a first to know, or Myrna puts on first to know that she has a buyer need. I don't think that Sunny or Myrna would mind that or anyone in this room would say, hey, one of my fellow agents has a buyer. They've been looking high and low and looking for everything up and down, north and west, and they can't find something. So I just wanted to help them and put this out there. If you or anyone you know has a house like this, I'd love to help. And I think Myrna and Sunny were like, heck yeah, I've got the buyer. There's my commission. You got the seller. That's your commission. Let's go. Let's put this deal together. Right? And do that with builders too. If anyone says, my buyers have been looking high and low and they got this dream home and it's just not on the market, call up in Des Moines, Iowa, and he's got this home building company he owns called Dreamscape Home Builders. He can build that. That makes sense? So using all these levers, all these opportunities to create more conversations, which in turn create contracts. Okay. Video ad or letter communicating to current buyers we have that are looking for. So just putting that in your newsletter. This is a list of the buyers. You don't need to put, I don't want you guys to put like full names and social security numbers and date of birth. We just say this our family, the B family, this couple or this person. You don't even have to put the picture, right? This is what they're looking for. And so whoever, again, the key thing is just be honest and with what you have. Okay. For sale by owners. Am I going okay, guys? Anyone have questions? Am I talking too fast or I'm going at a good pace? Because I need to be done in about 20 minutes. For sale by owner sites. Zillow sites, what you can do is do a template, copy and paste, and what my template would say is something like this. Hello, I'm Meksay. I'm a broker owner of Remax Concepts, and I am also representing multiple buyers for a home that for properties that match close to what you're selling. And I was just curious if you'd be willing to work with me as a buyer's agent. If so, I would ask for include a buyer's commission within the contract of the purchase price of X%. Copy, paste, submit. Right? So yes, no question. And all we are asking for is the buyer's commission, right? So if they have it listed for 205 or 210, of that, do they have that 3% room? Or if not, you've already talked to your buyer and have done this awesome training that Lance and Michelle are doing all across all of our offices, and you've educated and consulted with your buyer, saying, you know what, there might be a chance, but the sellers may not pay your commission. And so this is how we're going to proceed in this manner. And based on my service to you, I'm going to be able to help you find homes high and low. And that's exactly the scenario that we're talking about. Okay. And then also, again, picking up the phone. Again, also being mindful of the do not calls. But if they've got the phone number on Zillow, I mean, they're used to getting calls. And it's just all about, a warm introduction to break the ice and say, hey, I'm not looking to list your house right now. I'm just, first and foremost, I want to say how beautiful your home is. And I loved every picture that you got posted. And I really love, where'd you get that, cat bed or that smushmala pillow or whatever's in the picture. I just made that one up. And then so throw them a compliment and build that rapport with them. And then ask them that simple question. I don't want to keep you all night. I just want to ask you, would you be willing to work with me? I've got these buyers that are looking. And again, I'm not trying to get your listing. I just want to see if I could bring my buyers and explain the process to them. And it's a yes, no. And then what I would normally recommend doing is go out to look at the property first and foremost without your buyers, just so that way you're not caught with any weird surprises. But even first and foremost, though, send them a form, a cooperation form, a commission, or an unrepresented form, just to make sure that you're protected if something were to move forward. Make sense? I didn't say anything invalid, right, Michelle, as far as all new commission stuff
We just don't talk about numbers.
with the seller?
No, in a group when we have.
Yeah,
bulk
that's
purchases.
why I haven't said any percentages, right? I don't think I've said any percentages. Maybe I said my percentage, but my percentage is not your percentage. Your percentage is your percentage. And as noted, you know, you guys are independent contractors that can set whatever you want to set. Okay, so let's see here. Client appreciation drawings, we talked about that. Maybe putting an emphasis on, you know, thank you. I got so many listing opportunities from you guys. There's homes to sell. And thank you for doing all that stuff. That's just been fantastic. Expired listings. You know, those are people that for some reason their goal of selling their home didn't come to fruition. And so our job is just to see if they're still interested in selling if the right opportunity came up. Again, yes, no question. Oh, number 16, guys, this is really important, I feel, just because as you guys kind of heard me talk, I've been doing this for 18 years, right? So I'm really comfortable calling anybody and talking to them about real estate. But if you hadn't done this as long as I've done it, or if you're not as comfortable doing it, just practice. Practice with each other, practice with a friend, family member, because the last thing I would want you guys to do is stumble, bumble, and then lose confidence and never do it again. So write down what you're going to say, have a script. I don't want you to be robotic about it, of course, but at least know how you're going to be concise in what you're going to speak about, and then be confident when you're making that call. And if anything, too, sometimes, people are like, I don't want to call because I just feel like I'm asking for them. If anything, picture yourself as a service provider, as a potential liberator, right? Somebody that's going to save their situation. Because if it's a for sale by owner, they already listed their home and they want to move. You can come in and save the day and bring in your buyer. If they're expired, they try to do it, they failed with the agent or whatever, you come in and wow, that agent was the best agent ever. I'm so happy that they called me and helped me out. Lindsay?
I will say something that Lance said in a training I went to 7 years ago that has been the best thing ever. I talk a lot and I get really nervous, and that whole stumble bumble thing, I'll talk a lot when I'm, if you just say what you need to say concisely and stop, it makes the other person fill in. I feel like as females, we automatically we're uncomfortable with the blank space. And I don't know, that's just been amazing for me. And I have to remind myself of that sometimes still.
Yeah. What Lindsay said is, pausing. That's a great advice, is that speak and pause. We have 2 ears, 1 mouth. So just speak, pause, or ask a open-ended question. Okay. So some other ideas, relocation, communicate to your SOI that, hey, Remax Concepts, we can do relocation in spite of what another brokerage might say. We are relo certified, and I have taken the classes and I've done everything I need to do to help you relocate. So tell your company that I'm available to help as needed. Okay. Seller seminars. Again, a lot of these individuals haven't ever sold their house before, and we have beautiful offices throughout the state of Iowa and in Florida. This is a great space, guys. You guys can invite people. Maybe only 3 people show up. But it's just having that system, that information that you can, present and market in lots of different forms and fashions. Okay. Partnering with a new agent, or at least offering to, there are sometimes, when you're a brand new agent, you get a horse acreage, or you get a mansion to list, or you get a lake house, and you don't know anything about the neighborhood or whatever. Just make sure that, hey, I'll be willing to co-list with you if you ever have those weird situations and you've never dealt with the septic system or this and that. Again, we're not trying to ambulance chase our new agents by any means, but we're definitely there to help. I mean, if I'm a brand new agent, I know Marva and Mike and Monica are the specialists in this part, that part of town. I'm going to co-list with them all day long because I want to also learn from them too. Does that sound fair? Okay. Facebook. This 20 and 21, guys, pretty much the same thing. We go in front of a sold sign. We go in front of your new listing. We have a selfie camera, or we have someone take it for you, your kids, your spouse, whatever, and say, hey, everybody, I'm Brittany, and I just listed this super awesome home, or I just sold this home, and I just want to thank my sellers for doing such a great job and helping me get their home ready to sell. And we're also very excited for the new buyers that are going to make this house their home. And if anyone wants to do something similar, give me a call. Facebook, Instagram, just listed, just sold, closed. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different opportunities. Put your face, your name, your number in front of something that you're doing. And that's also broken record, value to your seller, right? Okay. Advertising, and these are things that would cost money, but so again, it's all about ROI in your budget. So YouTube, billboards, benches, radios, research your costs for sure, and then totally monitor your costs versus what you get out of it, right? You see a lot of agents have billboards, I should say a lot, but some agents have billboards, they have benches or on the whatever, the TV at the arena or the gyms at schools. And, you know, I hope they're monitoring their ROI, but I definitely know it's brand awareness. And if you're looking for more listings and you're kicking butt and you're doing all these things that we've talked about, and you need to add some more, check it out. Okay. Now, these are things that I definitely want to throw back into with your SOI, right? As you're adding people to your contacts, who are the attorneys that you know that handle divorces, that handle estates, that handle probates? Who are the contractors and the vendors that you know that work on every square inch of homes? Who are other real estate professionals that you could reciprocate opportunities with? Lenders, appraisers, title agents, title attorneys, insurance agents, inspectors. And remember, we got to ask. We have to ask. You know, hey, who do you use for an agent when you have, you know, this or that, when you have a referral? I'd love to be that agent. And let's go have coffee or let's talk and see how we can, oh, you want to partner up and do an event together or do some co-op marketing together? I would love to do that. And guess what? We have other people that we could maybe, you know, build a network with. And that would be our team. We're the estate team. We're the divorce team. And again, I don't want you guys to be, you know, ambulance chasers, but what's the best way? Classy about it. All right, let's flip the page, guys. And we have 4 minutes, I think. 3 minutes. I said my glasses don't go that far. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. 27 goes into the next page. So it's okay to say where you're at. It's just talking about geo-farming, okay? Being a community advocate in your neighborhood or any neighborhood that you want to target, right? And so whether it's a 25, a 50, 100, or 250 home radius of your new listing or where your buyer needs are, think about spending some money there with a glossy jumbo, you know, a postcard that you can send out, and your statement, your call to action, your whatever is coming soon, just listed, just sold, open house, reviews from the neighbor that you helped sell their house. We have more buyers, you know, this home sold in 10 days. We have multiple offers, and we have still more buyers that didn't get this house are still in the market. Okay. Another way to get listing is adopt agents databases who are leaving the business. And when I say leaving the business, sometimes agents are relocating out of state. Hey, what are you going to do with all the contacts you have? I'd be happy to pay you a referral fee. And we have a referral company that you can put your license in. Agents that are retiring. I mean, there's agents that just said, you know what, real estate's not for me. Okay. And why not? Let's see, we talked about the mega open houses to get more listings. Builders, I mean, builders, you know, they're building inventory to sell it. We definitely don't want to solicit the builders that already have agents, especially if there's concepts agents. But, you know, it's just one of those things where we're out, you know, hustling and making new connections at HPA events, at, you know, home and building remodeling shows and things like that. And we're just, like I said, we're just, you know, making connection. And then we asked you, though, we say, hey, you know, looks like you don't work with an agent to list your homes, but do you work with an agent if I have a buyer that's looking to, you know, maybe build something that you can build for them? You work with agents from a commission standpoint. So yes, no question. Okay. Seller endorsement letters. So you slam dunk, you sold that house and you got all these multiple offers and you just really kicked some butt on how you did it. And so what you do is you ask the seller, would you mind, you know, endorsing me with your neighbors or with your community or within the organizations that you work or live or are part of? And you can say, hi neighbor, or hi friend, or hi blah, blah, blah. I want to send you a quick note about our agent. His name is Meksay. And as you may or may not saw, we moved and we're now closer to our grandkids, but we just wanted to let you know we interviewed several agents and we chose because we have a great marketing plan. He was very trustworthy, he was honest, and he had the knowledge, the experience, and the tools backed by his brokerage to effectively sell our house. So if you ever think about selling a house in the future, you should give a call. Copy paste, right? Community involvement. making sure you're wearing. I see Monica's got her name badge on. I'm not shaming you guys because it's Valentine's Day. You guys are thinking about dress for other events, but make sure you guys are representing yourself and you're not a secret agent. You got the Remax concept on, you got your name involved, whatever, your logos. So that way when you're out and about in the Easter egg hunt in the neighborhood or the blah, 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 whatever, people are like, oh, I keep seeing that face and that name, that's who that is. And, you know, I definitely, when I go to different events, you know, again, I don't want to be an agent because I want you guys to be the agents. And I'm already kind of involved in the community as a builder. So I got, you know, my Dreamscape stuff on, right? And so I'm going to basketball games, track meets with Dreamscape stuff on all day long. Okay. And then market, this is the last thing, and we are perfect on timing based, well, not perfect, but close enough. Marketing your current listings to the max. So we go and get this listing and it's a handsome fee for selling their home. And all we do is we put the lockbox on. Hopefully we get professional photos, put a sign in the yard, and that was it. I could have done that myself. Or we kick some major marketing butt. We take the professional videos, we do the 3Ds, we do the walkthrough videos, we do the boosts on the social media pages, we do a standalone website, we do the mailers, we do the brochures, we do the open houses, we do the agent opens, we do the twilight opens, we do the directional signage, we're on YouTube, we're just knocking on doors left and right from them, we're emailing it to all these contacts, we're going to the school events, showing off their stuff. That's how we earn that commission, right, guys? But then also that's how we're not just doing that just for one house, right? We're doing that for every future potential seller that is interviewing agents, and we have proof that we have 87 things that we will do to earn the commission that they're agreeing to pay us. Not just put it on the MLS, not just put a lockbox up there. 85 more things. And we do those things, sell the house, we have that portfolio of information, and makes it that much easier to sell, right? All right, guys, that's all I got, I think, for that stuff. Any questions?